Good morning, friends, and happy game day. I'm Mark Holmes here with my buddy Cowboy Joe Boo, who is still taking that loss from the Bills kind of hard. So let's get open for business and let's wake up the football gods here. Okay, I hope we've cried all we're going to cry. I don't want to ever see another teary eyed Jerry Jones ever again in my life. We have bashed Jason Garrett, and we realize that he is really a dead man walking. And this season, the 4 games that are left for us, well, here's the great thing, okay? As bad as we've played, I know we haven't beat teams with winning records. We've been close. We've been really, really close. But the only thing that counts is getting the W, and we haven't been getting those W's. But we're 6-6, and if that scenario holds true for what we have done, where we just beat teams that don't have winning records, well, we end up 9-7 and making the playoffs. It's that. That's how it is. And it's not the Cowboys' fault for beating the teams that are in front of them. It's just not. So we still have stuff to play for. And as bad, here's how crazy it is. As bad as we've been, hey, regardless of what the Eagles do, we're still in first place. We win one of our next 2 games, we are still playing for the division against the Eagles the 2 days before Christmas, or 3 days. That's the truth of it. In the meantime, one thing I can guarantee won't happen today is that the Dallas Cowboys will lose. So we can kick back, we can relax. I'm on a live stream during the Eagles game and try and keep up with them and see how they do against the Miami Dolphins. Miami Dolphins, who've surprised people and won 2 games. Let's see if they can make it 3. Now the Eagles, they got that signature win against the Green Bay Packers. Well, or should I say that signature fail by Aaron Rodgers. But this is the same team that went to Atlanta and lost to the Falcons. This is the same team that lost at home to the Detroit Lions. So this is a team that's in disarray as much as the Dallas Cowboys. I know you would have thought when we lost on Thursday that the Eagles won the Super Bowl again. But the reality is they're riding us because of our own failures, not by anything that they've done. So we'll see what we're going to see, and just basically circle your calendar for December 22nd, because that's the reality is that is the season. That is, unless the Eagles lose today, and that kind of changes things a little bit more. But anyway, as we have now gone through, and we believe that Jerry Jones has finally done with the experiment of Jason Garrett, we hope, we pray, we believe that this is the end. And hope, because sometimes you should be careful what you wish for because you just might get it. Could end up being that we end up finding out that we get somebody who's worse than Jason Garrett. Now, I hope that this isn't going to be just some willy-nilly, hire here or something that's going to sell tickets. I hope that they really and truly do their homework and end up bringing somebody that's going to make a difference, that is able to make the calls and decisions on his own. Because I'm tired of having the patsy coaches. At this point, Jerry Jones needs to say, you know what? We've tried for 25 years my way. Let's try it somebody else's. And let's get in here a real coach that knows X's and O's, knows how to build a roster, and knows how to play in crunch time. So I've been looking at possibilities. Okay, yesterday we talked about Sean Payton, where people were like, oh, well, Jerry Jones is going to work out a deal to get Sean Payton. And I said, forget those rumors. New Orleans just re-signed him to a 5-year deal. Even though somebody had said, well, that Sean Payton actually has a control. He can retire and then sign with the Cowboys. It doesn't work that way. Because with that 5-year contract, he can retire, but New Orleans will hold his rights for the next 5 years. It's kind of like Orlando McClain, who the NFL banned from the NFL, and he was out of football for 3 seasons, I guess it was, 2 or 3, and they reinstated him. And the Cowboys still, even though he had not been on the roster for several years, still owned his rights, and they said thanks but no thanks, he's a free agent. And that's the way it would be with Sean Payton. The only way that Sean Payton can either retire and not coach for 5 years, or the Cowboys make a deal for Sean Payton, and that's not going to happen. So move on past that one. Now, the odds makers out there are having the odds on being that it is going to be Josh McDaniels. I don't think that I want Josh McDaniels from what I saw in Denver, where he believed Tim Tebow was, the best quarterback option out there, and moved up in the draft to take that guy. Then you saw him get an offer from the Colts and accept it and then turn it down. It just seems a little wishy-washy. And the other thing that I look at is there's perception versus reality. Now, you got the best quarterback in football. Or, historically, the greatest quarterback in the history of football and the best head coach. But the amazing thing about this is it doesn't seem to matter what gets plugged and played in there. Josh McDaniels left and went to Denver. New England didn't skip a beat. We've seen a lot of other coaches leave New England, and the team never skips a beat. We've seen even Tom Brady get suspended or hurt, and the team doesn't skip a beat. The one constant with New England has always been Bill Belichick. But if you look at what New England is doing right now, their offense, as we go through, right now, currently, where are we? Boom, 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 boom. Is somewhere way 18th. 18th right now. New England is 18th in offense, getting 5.1 yards per play. You know how many other teams are below 5 yards per play? Only 7. Not exactly the offensive juggernaut that it used to be. And even last year, when they won the Super Bowl, let's see, that's 2019. Let's go to 2018. 2018, 5.9 yards per play. Not still earth-shattering. So the question you have to ask is, because here's the thing. Our problem is play calling on offense, being in the right position at the right time. Josh McDaniels is an offensive coach. Our offense, for the most part, is actually improved under Kellen Moore. So if you're looking for an offensive genius, I'm not sure that is the guy. And the other thing that bothers me is when you look at, this is the coaching tree, coaches that have left Bill Belichick and went on to be head coaches. Al Groh, Charlie Weiss, Romeo Crennel, Eric Mangenius, Josh McDaniels, jury's still out, Jim Schwartz, Bill O'Brien, and I'll put in Matt Patricia, who's now in his second season with the Lions. All of these guys who have the Bill Belichick stamp of approval, who have been underneath the Masters, have a total of 1 playoff win. Just 1. Period. End of story. And I'm not sure that is the guy who'll be there who will motivate this team. Because more than anything else, we need a statistician. We need a guy who understands down and distance. We need to understand how the flow of a game dictates how you change plays. That is a given. But we also need to have a guy who understands that you still believe in a kicker who has missed a game in more games than he's made all of them. Out of his 30 games, 16 of them, Maher has had a miss of a field goal or an extra point. And yet, you still stick with him. You need somebody that says, you know what, this play is not acceptable. We need to bring in somebody else. Or somebody who's going to have the authority to. We need somebody who understands when your quarterback is having a hot hand, you stick with it. We need somebody who understands that the running game is doing things that are really, really good, that you need to stick with it more than the first quarter. We need a guy who understands that when teams are blitzing a lot, you need quick plays. You can't do so developing routes because you're going to get your quarterback killed. And more than anything else, I think we need to have somebody who can motivate the players. A guy who can do that Newt Rockne speech. A guy who can get guys ready to run through a brick wall. Because when I check the pulse of my Dallas Cowboys and I look at the body language that I see on the field, everybody that comes and plays the Cowboys has a hell of a lot more energy and drive than the Cowboys. And for me, I stay away from New England coaches. They just don't have a track record. So, excuse me, as I choke up on that one, it might be Bill Belichick doing the Darth Vader killing me here online. But as I look at it, I just don't believe in the coaches that have come up underneath that tree. And I say, on to the next candidate. I'm Mark Holmes, and we'll see you at 1 o'clock during our live stream during the Eagles game. See you soon.